You think like a loser constantly, expecting failure before trying, doubting yourself in every challenge, seeing obstacles as reasons to quit, interpreting setbacks as proof of inadequacy, and unconsciously sabotaging success through limiting beliefs that guarantee failure. This loser mentality is systematically destroying your results by creating self-fulfilling prophecies where you fail because you expected to fail, destroying your opportunities by making you avoid challenges that winners pursue eagerly, destroying your growth by keeping you in comfort zones where nothing develops, destroying your potential by convincing you that success belongs to others but not to you, and destroying your future by ensuring you never become the person capable of achieving the goals you claim to want. Winner mentality operates through specific thought patterns that create success automatically, belief systems that make achievement inevitable, and mental frameworks that transform obstacles into opportunities. This audiobook teaches winner thinking mastery through the psychology of success mindset that reveals how champions think differently, the neuroscience of belief systems that shows how thoughts create reality, the practices of mental reconditioning that reprogram limiting beliefs, and the systems of winner thinking that make success your natural default outcome. Stop thinking like a loser who expects failure and start thinking like a winner who expects success. Stop seeing obstacles as reasons to quit and start viewing them as opportunities to prove yourself. Winner mentality expects success automatically. Champion thinking creates inevitable achievement. Success mindset produces compound results, and programmed excellence guarantees the victories that loser thinking makes impossible. Beginning now. Chapter 1. You think like a loser. Recognize defeating mental patterns. You think like a loser constantly and habitually without even realizing that your automatic thought patterns guarantee failure regardless of how much effort you invest or how much natural ability you possess. This loser thinking operates below conscious awareness, running automatically in background of your mind and sabotaging every attempt at success before you even begin taking action toward your goals. Loser thinking manifests through specific recognizable patterns that you can observe once you develop awareness of your automatic thoughts. Expecting failure means predicting negative outcomes before even trying anything challenging, focusing obsessively on everything that could go wrong rather than what could go right, and imagining worst-case scenarios repeatedly until they feel more real than potential success. Self-doubt appears as questioning your abilities constantly regardless of past evidence of competence, comparing yourself unfavorably to others and finding yourself lacking every time, and systematically discounting or dismissing your past successes as luck or accident rather than earned achievement. Loser thinking creates failure automatically. Winner thinking creates success inevitably. Change thoughts or guarantee defeat. Obstacle fixation shows itself through seeing problems as completely insurmountable barriers that make success impossible, believing that circumstances and external factors make achievement unattainable for you specifically, and using obstacles as convenient excuse to quit rather than as challenges to overcome through persistent effort. Setback interpretation reveals itself when you view failures as permanent character flaws that define who you are fundamentally. Take mistakes as definitive proof of your inadequacy and inability, and generalize catastrophically from single failure to global incompetence across all domains. Success sabotage operates unconsciously as you create failure through deeply programmed limiting beliefs. Avoid opportunities that could actually succeed because success feels unfamiliar and threatening. And ensure your predictions of failure come true through self-fulfilling prophecy mechanisms that operate below conscious awareness. The loser-winner thought comparison reveals stark differences in automatic thinking patterns. Losers automatically think I can't do this when facing challenge, while winners automatically think, how can I do this, and assume solution exists. Losers think this is too hard and use difficulty as reason to quit, while winners think this will make me stronger and view difficulty as growth opportunity. Losers think I always fail and generalize from past to future, while winners think I learn from every attempt and see failures as progress. Losers think success is for other people who are different from me, while winners think success is inevitable for me with enough persistence. Research by Carol Dweck on mindset demonstrates that fixed mindset believes abilities are unchangeable traits you're born with, and that failure reveals fundamental inadequacy you cannot overcome, while growth mindset believes abilities develop progressively through sustained effort, and that failure provides valuable feedback for improvement. Her research shows that mindset determines whether challenges motivate you to persist or discourage you into quitting, and that thought patterns predict success more accurately than talent or intelligence levels. The devastating cost of loser thinking accumulates relentlessly over time through self-fulfilling prophecies, where expecting failure actually creates failure through reduced effort and premature quitting. Missed opportunities through systematically avoiding challenges that could lead to success. Stunted growth through remaining imprisoned in comfort zones where no development occurs. Unrealized potential through self-imposed limitations that have nothing to do with actual capability. And accumulated regret about what could have been if you'd thought differently. Loser thinking creates failure automatically. Winner thinking creates success inevitably. Change thoughts or guarantee defeat. Recognition of your loser thinking patterns requires developing awareness through tracking your automatic thoughts during challenges, identifying the negative thought patterns that repeat predictably, noticing your internal self-talk during difficulty and setback, acknowledging your deep beliefs about your capabilities and worthiness, and understanding that your habitual thought patterns directly create your results through influencing your actions and persistence. You recognize loser thinking now. Next, you must understand winner psychology. Chapter 2. Understand winner psychology, the neuroscience of success mindset. Winner thinking operates through specific neurological mechanisms involving neural pathways, belief systems, and mental models that either enable success or prevent it entirely, depending on how they're programmed. Your reticular activating system functions as filter determining what information reaches your conscious awareness, showing you evidence that confirms your existing expectations while automatically filtering out contradictory information that doesn't match your beliefs. This means winners literally see opportunities everywhere because they expect them and their brain highlights them, while losers see only obstacles everywhere because they expect those and their filtering system shows them confirming evidence constantly. The confirmation bias strengthens your existing beliefs progressively over time by unconsciously seeking and remembering information that supports your current worldview while ignoring or forgetting information that contradicts it. This creates powerfully self-reinforcing cycles where winner beliefs generate more winner evidence through selective attention, which strengthens winner beliefs further, while loser beliefs accumulate more loser evidence through the same mechanism, which reinforces loser beliefs even more strongly. Beliefs create reality through neurological mechanisms. Winner beliefs generate winner results. Program success or default to failure. Neuroplasticity enables fundamental belief change through specific mechanisms that literally rewire your brain. Repeated new thought patterns create entirely new neural pathways that didn't exist previously. Consistent practice of success-oriented thinking strengthens these new connections progressively. Sustained mental reconditioning changes actual brain structure over months of practice, and deliberate reprogramming systematically overwrites limiting beliefs that have controlled you for years. The placebo effect demonstrates beliefs' extraordinary power through measurable physiological changes, where patients expecting positive outcomes create actual biochemical changes in their bodies. Inactive treatments produce real measurable results when patients believe they're effective, and mental expectation alters physical reality in ways that science can measure and document. This proves conclusively that thoughts don't just influence outcomes. They literally create outcomes through neurological and physiological mechanisms. Research by Martin Seligman on learned optimism demonstrates that optimistic explanatory style predicts success across virtually all life domains. That pessimistic thinking creates learned helplessness, where people stop trying because they believe effort is futile. That how you habitually explain events to yourself determines your future behavior and persistence. And critically, that thinking patterns are learned habits that can be systematically changed through deliberate practice rather than fixed personality traits you're stuck with. The self-concept determines your performance through powerful mechanisms, where believing you're a winner makes you automatically act like winner without conscious effort. Identifying as successful person creates successful behaviors that align with that identity. Your self-image sets the upper limit on what achievement you'll allow yourself to reach. And fundamentally, changing your identity precedes and enables changing your actual results in the world. The expectancy theory reveals that expecting success measurably increases the effort you invest and your persistence through difficulty, while anticipating failure decreases your motivation and reduces the action you take toward goals. Your beliefs about likely outcomes literally determine your actual outcomes through influencing the behaviors that create those outcomes, meaning mental programming directly controls your behavioral output and therefore your results. Beliefs create reality through neurological mechanisms. Winner beliefs generate winner results. Program success or default to failure. Understanding these neurological and psychological mechanisms demonstrates conclusively that winner thinking is an innate trait you're born with, but programmable system you can install, not genetic destiny determined by your parents, but learned skill you can develop. Not fixed personality you're stuck with forever, but changeable mental software you can reprogram. And not permanent condition you must accept, but reprogrammable belief system you can systematically transform through deliberate daily practice over months of consistent effort. You understand winner psychology now. Next, you must reframe failure. Chapter 3. Reframe failure as feedback. Winners learn, losers quit. How you interpret failure determines whether setbacks destroy you completely or develop you into someone stronger and more capable. With winners consistently viewing failure as valuable feedback, while losers view identical failure as final verdict on their fundamental worth. This single difference in interpretation creates radically different outcomes from the same objective circumstances, with winners learning and improving while losers quit and accumulate regret. The loser failure interpretation sees mistakes as definitive proof of personal inadequacy that cannot be overcome. Setbacks as clear evidence of fundamental inability that reveals you lack what success requires. Errors as permanent character flaws that must be hidden from others. Rejection as proof of personal deficiency that confirms you're not good enough. And criticism as personal attack that must be defended against or avoided entirely. Losers see failure as verdict. Winners see failure as feedback. Reframe setbacks or quit prematurely. The winner-failure reframe views mistakes as valuable learning opportunities, providing data about what doesn't work. Setbacks as temporary obstacles requiring strategy adjustment rather than permanent barriers. Errors as necessary and normal part of any growth process. Rejection as simple mismatch between offer and need rather than judgment of personal inadequacy. And criticism as useful feedback for improvement rather than attack requiring defense. Research by Angela Duckworth on grit demonstrates that how you interpret failure predicts with remarkable accuracy who persists toward goals versus who quits prematurely. That seeing failure as feedback and learning opportunity enables continued effort despite setbacks. That viewing failure as verdict on your worth triggers immediate abandonment of goals. And that persistence through inevitable setback is the primary factor separating ultimate success from permanent failure. The growth mindset failure response involves specific steps that winners follow automatically. Analyze objectively what went wrong without emotional self-attack. Identify specific lessons and adjustments needed based on results. Implement concrete changes based on feedback received. Try again with improved approach, incorporating lessons learned, and view each failure as measurable progress toward eventual success rather than step backward. The scientific method approach treats every failure as experiment, providing valuable data where your hypothesis was tested through action. Results were observed without judgment. Conclusions were drawn objectively from data. Next iteration was designed based on learning, and real progress occurred regardless of whether outcome matched hopes, because knowledge increased. Famous failure to success stories demonstrate this pattern repeatedly across history. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team, but used that failure as motivation. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before successfully inventing the light bulb, but viewed each failure as discovering one more way that didn't work. J.K. Rowling was rejected by multiple publishers before Harry Potter succeeded, but persisted because she believed in her work. Walt Disney was fired from newspaper for lacking creativity, but proved critics wrong through building entertainment empire. Oprah Winfrey was told she wasn't fit for television, but became most successful talk show host in history. The critical difference separating these success stories from millions who failed similarly and quit wasn't superior talent or better circumstances, but simply different interpretation, where winners extracted lessons and adjusted approach, while losers would have taken identical failures as proof they should quit permanently. Losers see failure as verdict. Winners see failure as feedback. Reframe setbacks or quit prematurely. The feedback loop practice involves attempting challenging goal despite uncertainty, experiencing the inevitable failure that comes from trying difficult things, immediately reframing failure as data rather than defeat, adjusting your approach based on specific learning, attempting again with improvements, and repeating this cycle until success is achieved through accumulated learning. The anti-fragile mindset actually gains strength from failure through mechanisms where each setback builds resilience and mental toughness. Every mistake improves strategy through forced learning. All criticism sharpens skills through identifying weaknesses, and any rejection clarifies direction through eliminating poor fits. You reframe failure now. Next, you must expect success. Chapter 4. Expect success always. Program your mind for victory. Expectation determines outcome more powerfully than talent or effort, because what you genuinely expect tends to manifest through self-fulfilling prophecy mechanisms that operate automatically below conscious awareness. Winners expect success in absolutely every situation as their default outcome, regardless of circumstances. Anticipate positive results before even beginning any endeavor. Automatically assume they'll figure out solutions to whatever problems arise. Believe deeply that success is inevitable with enough intelligent persistence. And maintain unwavering expectation despite temporary setbacks that would discourage most people completely. Losers expect failure as the most likely outcome in challenging situations. Anticipate problems and obstacles that will prevent success. Automatically assume things won't work out favorably for them. Believe success requires luck or special circumstances they don't have, and abandon their expectation of success immediately after experiencing minor setbacks or encountering initial resistance. Expectations create self-fulfilling prophecies. Winners expect success always. Expect victory or create defeat. The self-fulfilling prophecy operates through powerful mechanisms where your expectations influence your behavior unconsciously in ways you don't recognize. Your behavior creates results that match your original expectations through the actions you take or avoid. These results confirm your original expectations and strengthen them further. And this cycle reinforces itself, continuously making your beliefs increasingly unshakable regardless of whether they're accurate or completely false. Research by Robert Rosenthal on expectancy effects demonstrates that teachers' expectations dramatically affect student performance even when students have identical ability. That high expectations consistently create high achievement, through subtle behavioral changes. That low expectations reliably create low achievement through the same mechanisms. And that expectations operate almost entirely unconsciously through thousands of tiny behaviors that communicate beliefs and shape outcomes. The Pygmalion effect in workplace settings demonstrates identical principles where managers' expectations powerfully influence employee performance independent of actual capability. Expecting excellence from employees produces excellent performance through increased support and opportunity. Expecting mediocrity produces mediocre performance through reduced investment and lower standards. And people consistently rise or fall to match the expectations held by authority figures in their environment. Building genuine success expectation requires specific practices repeated daily. Visualize successful outcomes repeatedly in vivid detail until they feel real and inevitable. Affirm your expected success daily through specific statements declaring victory. Act as if success is absolutely certain through your decisions and investments. Maintain firm expectation despite temporary setbacks that appear to contradict it. And refuse completely to entertain failure as realistic possibility in your mental landscape. The assumption of success means approaching every challenge expecting to succeed rather than hoping to succeed, planning for victory, not defeat through your preparation and resource allocation, investing fully in your goals because success feels certain, not merely possible, persisting automatically because the outcome feels inevitable, not uncertain, and interpreting obstacles as how questions, not whether questions, where the issue is how to succeed, not whether success is possible. The expectation-action loop creates compound results over time through specific mechanisms. Expecting success increases your confidence, which feels like certainty about outcomes. Increased confidence increases the effort you invest and your persistence through difficulty. Greater effort and persistence create better actual results through more attempts and learning. Better results confirm your original expectations and strengthen them dramatically. And these strengthened expectations create even better results in accelerating upward spiral. Expectations create self-fulfilling prophecies. Winners expect success always. Expect victory or create defeat. The winner's certainty comes from deeply programmed belief in inevitable success that operates automatically, unshakable faith in your ability to figure things out regardless of current knowledge, absolute expectation of positive outcomes despite temporary negative circumstances, complete refusal to accept failure as permanent state, and maintaining success expectation regardless of how long achievement takes or how many setbacks occur along the way. You expect success now. Next, you must take responsibility. Chapter 5. Take absolute responsibility. Winners own everything. Winners take complete and absolute responsibility for all outcomes in their lives, while losers blame circumstances and external factors. With this responsibility difference being perhaps the most fundamental distinction in thinking patterns between success and failure. The responsibility blame divide shows clearly that winners automatically think my results are my responsibility regardless of circumstances or obstacles, while losers automatically think my results are determined by external factors completely beyond my control. Victim mentality destroys success potential through specific mechanisms that guarantee failure. Blaming others for your failures removes your power to change outcomes. Citing circumstances as reasons for your inability makes you dependent on external changes. Waiting passively for external conditions to improve before taking action ensures nothing changes. Feeling powerless to influence your outcomes creates actual powerlessness through inaction. And using blame to avoid responsibility for improvement prevents the learning and adjustment that success requires. Responsibility creates power to change. Blame creates powerlessness. Own everything or remain victim. Extreme ownership mindset enables success through accepting complete responsibility for all results, both good and bad, without exception, refusing absolutely to blame circumstances or other people for outcomes, owning your mistakes completely without excuse or justification, taking massive action despite obstacles and unfavorable circumstances, and believing deeply that you control outcomes through your responses regardless of what happens to you. Research by Julian Rotter on locus of control demonstrates that internal locus of control, believing you control outcomes through your actions, predicts success across virtually all life domains. That external locus of control, believing outcomes are controlled by external forces, predicts helplessness and chronic failure. That internal locus correlates with achievement, while external locus correlates with underachievement. And that locus of control is learned belief system that can be systematically changed through deliberate practice. The responsibility power comes from understanding that control follows automatically from ownership, where taking responsibility gives you power to change situations. That blaming others or circumstances removes all power to improve anything. That responsibility enables concrete improvement through identifying what you could do differently. That ownership creates agency and ability to act rather than passive waiting. And that taking absolute responsibility unlocks your ability to influence outcomes regardless of external circumstances. The excuse elimination process involves refusing completely to cite circumstances as reasons for failure, systematically eliminating all justifications for poor outcomes, taking full ownership of all results without exception, accepting complete responsibility for everything in your world, and using that ownership to drive relentless improvement rather than to punish yourself. The Jocko Willink extreme ownership principle, developed through military leadership, states that effective leaders take responsibility for absolutely everything in their world, that ineffective subordinates blame others and circumstances for failures. That ownership at the top creates winning teams through culture of responsibility. That blame at the top creates losing teams through culture of victimhood. And that total responsibility equals total power to influence and change outcomes. The responsibility concept reveals that ability to respond creates all your power. That blaming removes your ability to respond by making you dependent on others changing. That responsibility enables response choices through acknowledging your control. That ownership unlocks response capacity through accepting your influence. And that taking complete responsibility activates your responsibility in any situation. Responsibility creates power to change. Blame creates powerlessness. Own everything or remain victim. The winner responsibility statements that program ownership mindset include stating daily that I am responsible for my results regardless of circumstances, affirming that I create my outcomes through my actions and responses, declaring that circumstances don't control me, but I control my responses to circumstances, believing that my success is my responsibility alone, not dependent on others, and refusing completely to blame anyone or anything for outcomes I create through my choices. You take responsibility now. Next, you must focus on solutions. Chapter 6. Focus on solutions, not problems. Winners find ways. Winners focus their mental energy exclusively on finding solutions, while losers focus obsessively on describing problems. With this focus difference, determining whether obstacles stop you permanently or strengthen you through forcing creative problem solving. The problem-solution focus divide shows that losers obsess endlessly over how hard things are and why they can't succeed, while winners obsess immediately over how to overcome obstacles and what specific actions to take right now. Problem-focused thinking creates complete paralysis through specific mechanisms that prevent all progress. Analyzing obstacles endlessly without seeking solutions wastes mental energy. Describing difficulties repeatedly reinforces their seeming impossibility. Explaining comprehensively why things are impossible programs your mind to believe impossibility. Focusing exclusively on what's wrong prevents seeing what could work, and dwelling on problems without actively seeking solutions creates helplessness and depression. Problem focus creates paralysis. Solution focus creates progress. Seek answers or stay stuck. Solution-focused thinking creates immediate progress through automatically asking, how can I solve this the moment any obstacle appears? Brainstorming multiple possible approaches without judging them prematurely. Testing potential solutions systematically through action. Adjusting approach based on results received, and maintaining relentless focus on what can be done rather than what cannot. Research by Steve DeShazer on solution-focused brief therapy demonstrates that focusing on solutions creates faster positive change than analyzing problems endlessly. That asking what works produces better outcomes than asking what's wrong. That solution focus activates resourcefulness and creativity. That problem focus reinforces helplessness and stuck patterns. And that shifting focus from problem to solution often resolves issues that seemed unsolvable. The how can I mindset replaces every obstacle with immediate question leading to action. Instead of automatically thinking this is impossible, shift immediately to how can I make this possible. Instead of thinking I don't have necessary resources, ask how can I get resources or work without them. Instead of concluding this won't work, ask specifically how can I make this work. Instead of believing there's no way, demand of yourself, how can I find a way? The resourcefulness activation occurs automatically when solution focus triggers creative problem-solving abilities you didn't know you had. Obstacles transform from barriers into puzzles to solve. Constraints inspire innovation through forcing unconventional thinking. Limitations force cleverness through eliminating easy options. And problems become opportunities for growth through requiring you to develop new capabilities. The winner's automatic response to any obstacle is immediately shifting to solution-seeking mode, refusing completely to dwell on problem description beyond what's necessary to understand it, generating multiple potential approaches without prejudging which will work, testing solutions systematically through action rather than endless analysis, and persisting through trying different approaches until solution is found. The impossibility reframe transforms limiting statements into empowering questions. This is impossible becomes I haven't found the way yet, which implies solution exists. This can't be done becomes this requires creative approach, which activates problem solving. There's no solution becomes I need to think differently, which opens new possibilities. This won't work becomes what adjustment would make this work, which focuses on action. Problem focus creates paralysis. Solution focus creates progress. Seek answers or stay stuck. The solution-oriented questions that activate resourcefulness include asking what's one small step I could take right now, questioning who has solved similar problems successfully, examining what resources could I leverage, wondering what would make this possible, and demanding how can I test potential solution immediately. These questions shift focus from impossibility to possibility, from problem to solution, from stuck to moving, from helpless to resourceful, and from paralyzed to progressing through concrete action. You focus on solutions now. Next, you must visualize victory. Chapter 7. Visualize victory repeatedly. Mental rehearsal creates reality. Mental rehearsal and vivid visualization powerfully program winner mindset by creating neural patterns that are neurologically identical to actual physical experience, making imagined success feel completely real and expected. Visualization effectiveness comes from the fact that your brain cannot reliably distinguish vividly imagined experience from actual lived experience at the neurological level. Mental practice creates the same neural pathways and strengthens identical connections as physical practice. Repeated visualization systematically programs your subconscious expectations about what's possible and normal for you. An imagined success makes real success feel natural and inevitable rather than surprising or impossible. Research by Guan Yu on mental training demonstrates that people who only visualized muscle contractions without any physical exercise increased their strength significantly through mental practice alone. That mental practice alone produced measurable physical changes in muscle strength and neural activation. That combining mental and physical practice exceeded results from either practice alone. And that visualization creates real neurological and physiological changes that can be measured. Scientifically, mental rehearsal programs neural patterns. Visualization creates expected outcomes. Imagine victory or default to doubt. Olympic athletes use visualization extensively and systematically because imagining perfect performance programs their nervous system to execute that performance. Mental rehearsal dramatically reduces performance anxiety through familiarization. Visualized success creates confident execution through pre-experiencing achievement. Repeated mental practice builds automatic responses that execute under pressure, and champions visualize victory constantly before competing to program expectation of success. The visualization practice protocol involves finding quiet environment without distraction where you can focus completely, closing your eyes, and breathing deeply to enter a relaxed state, creating vivid mental movie of yourself succeeding with specific details, engaging all five senses in the imagined experience to make it feel real, feeling the emotions of achieving your goal as if it's happening now, and repeating this practice daily to systematically program your subconscious mind. The specificity principle requires visualizing specific concrete details, not vague success. Seeing the exact actions you'll take leading to victory. Imagining the precise moment of achievement with sensory details. Creating detailed mental movie that feels like memory. And making visualization as real and vivid as possible through engaging all senses. The emotional engagement amplifies visualization effect dramatically through feeling genuine pride of accomplishment during visualization, experiencing authentic joy of success in your mental rehearsal, sensing deep confidence of achievement in your imagined scenario, embodying winner identity during visualization practice, and making imagined success emotionally real, not just intellectually acknowledged. The repetition requirement means that daily visualization practice programs your beliefs progressively. Consistent mental rehearsal strengthens neural patterns over weeks. Repeated imagining makes success feel increasingly inevitable. Ongoing visualization maintains winner expectation despite setbacks. And sustained practice over months creates automatic success mindset. The visualization action connection shows that mental rehearsal measurably improves actual physical performance. Visualized success increases real success probability through programming expectations. Imagined victory creates confident execution through pre-experiencing success. Programmed expectations manifest as results through influencing behavior. And mind programmed for success automatically creates successful actions. Mental rehearsal programs neural patterns. Visualization creates expected outcomes. Imagine victory or default to doubt. You understand now that visualization isn't wishful thinking but neurological programming, that mental rehearsal creates real brain changes, that imagined success programs expected success, and that daily visualization practice systematically installs winner mindset through making success feel natural, expected, and inevitable rather than surprising, impossible, or reserved for others. You visualize victory now. Next, you must surround yourself with winners. Chapter 8. Surround yourself with winners. Environment programs thinking. Your social environment dramatically influences your thinking patterns because you unconsciously adopt the beliefs and expectations of people you spend significant time with regularly. The social influence mechanism operates through powerful neurological systems where mirror neurons automatically copy observed behaviors and attitudes. Unconscious mimicry causes you to adopt surrounding attitudes without awareness. Social proof shapes your beliefs about what's possible through observing others. Peer pressure influences your expectations through group norms. An environment determines your mindset through constant exposure that programs beliefs. Research by Nicholas Christakis on social networks demonstrates that behaviors spread through social networks like contagions affecting people multiple degrees removed, that you literally become the average of the 5 people you spend most time with, that obesity, happiness, and success patterns spread socially through networks, and that choosing your associates determines your outcomes more powerfully than almost any other single factor. Environment programs thinking automatically. Winners surround themselves with winners. Choose associations or absorb mediocrity. The loser environment effect creates devastating results through constant exposure to limiting beliefs that program your subconscious, continuous reinforcement of can't-do attitudes that lower expectations, systematic normalization of mediocrity that makes excellence seem abnormal, persistent discouragement of ambition that keeps you playing small, and strong social pressure against excellence that punishes you for attempting more. The winner environment effect produces opposite results through constant exposure to success expectations that reprogram beliefs, continuous reinforcement of can-do attitudes that raise standards, systematic normalization of excellence that makes high achievement seem normal, persistent encouragement of ambition that supports bigger goals, and powerful social pressure toward achievement that rewards and celebrates success. The association evaluation requires examining honestly whose opinions you value most, identifying clearly who influences your beliefs about what's possible, assessing objectively whether your associations support or undermine your goals, evaluating whether your environment programs winner or loser thinking, and determining if your surroundings reinforce or systematically destroy your success mindset. The association pruning involves making difficult decisions to reduce time spent with negative influences, deliberately limiting exposure to people spreading limiting beliefs, systematically distancing from chronic complainers who reinforce victim mentality, consciously avoiding people with victim mentality who blame everything, and removing loser-thinking associations who pull you toward mediocrity. The winner-seeking strategy includes actively identifying successful people in your specific field, deliberately joining environments where winners naturally gather, intentionally attending events where ambitious people meet regularly, actively seeking mentors who embody the success you want, and systematically surrounding yourself with excellence that pulls you upward. The environmental design creates total alignment through physical spaces that reinforce success through what you see, digital consumption that supports goals through what you consume, social circles that elevate thinking through who you engage, information diet that programs winner beliefs through what you read, and total environment aligned with success through every influence. Environment programs thinking automatically. Winners surround themselves with winners. Choose associations or absorb mediocrity. The protection principle requires guarding your mental environment as carefully as physical health, being extremely selective about influences you allow, strictly limiting exposure to negativity and limiting beliefs, choosing associations strategically based on who you want to become, and protecting your winner mindset from contamination by loser thinking that surround you constantly in average environments. You surround yourself with winners now. Next, you must practice daily. Chapter 9. Practice winner thinking daily. Reprogram your mind systematically. Winner mindset develops through consistent daily practice of specific mental exercises that systematically reprogram limiting beliefs and install success-oriented thought patterns that operate automatically. 5 daily practices transform loser thinking into winner thinking through creating new neural pathways, establishing winner identity, and removing dependence on circumstances or feelings that fluctuate wildly. Morning expectation setting involves visualizing your successful day ahead in specific detail, affirming your expected victories before they occur, programming success mindset before encountering challenges, and establishing winner identity immediately upon waking before the day's difficulties begin. Thought monitoring requires catching loser thoughts the moment they arise, identifying limiting belief patterns that repeat predictably, challenging negative expectations with evidence and logic, and replacing them immediately with winner alternatives. Winner thinking requires daily reprogramming. Occasional effort changes nothing permanently. Practice systematically or remain loser. Failure reframing practice involves reviewing the day's setbacks objectively without emotion, extracting specific lessons and valuable feedback from failures, consciously reinterpreting them as learning opportunities, and completely eliminating victim interpretation that blames circumstances. Responsibility affirmation requires stating your complete ownership of all results, refusing absolutely to blame circumstances for outcomes, affirming your power to influence everything through responses, and reinforcing internal locus of control through daily declarations. Evening victory visualization involves imagining tomorrow's success vividly in detail, mentally rehearsing confident performance before it happens, programming subconscious expectation for positive outcomes, and strengthening winner identity before sleep, when subconscious is most receptive. The reprogramming progression follows entirely predictable stages over months of practice. Week 1 focuses primarily on developing awareness of current loser thinking patterns. Weeks 2 through 4 involve actively practicing catching and replacing limiting thoughts. Months 2 through 3 develop increasingly automatic winner responses. Months 4 through 6 achieve unconscious winner mindset operating automatically. Progress indicators showing successful reprogramming include dramatically decreased negative self-talk frequency, increased automatic success expectations without conscious effort, natural solution focus replacing habitual problem focus, stronger winner identity that feels authentic, and confident approaches replacing fearful hesitation automatically. The daily tracking requirement involves recording specific instances of loser versus winner thinking, measuring objective progress and thought pattern changes, identifying remaining limiting beliefs requiring attention, celebrating successful reframes no matter how small, and maintaining awareness of mental programming through data. The affirmation practice programs beliefs through stating success expectations repeatedly throughout day, declaring winner identity daily with conviction, affirming capability constantly despite contrary feelings, reinforcing positive beliefs through repetition, and systematically overriding limiting programs installed over years. Winner thinking requires daily reprogramming. Occasional effort changes nothing permanently. Practice systematically or remain loser. The consistency requirement means daily practice without exception regardless of circumstances, maintaining focused effort despite setbacks and doubt, trusting the gradual reprogramming process over months, celebrating small mindset shifts as evidence of progress, and committing to permanent practice rather than temporary improvement project with endpoint. You practice winner thinking daily now. Finally, you must understand permanence. Chapter 10. Winner thinking is permanent practice. Success mindset requires daily maintenance. Winner thinking is not achievement reached once and maintained automatically forever, but ongoing practice requiring daily maintenance throughout your entire life, because temporary reprogramming creates only temporary mindset that reverts quickly to loser thinking when you stop actively practicing. Without consistent daily maintenance and deliberate reinforcement, your old limiting beliefs resurface predictably as default thoughts. Loser thought patterns return automatically to control your mind. Victim mentality reactivates and blames circumstances again. Problem focus replaces solution focus you worked hard to develop, and success expectations deteriorate back to expecting failure. Neural pathways for loser thinking strengthen progressively through default activation, while winner pathways weaken steadily without regular reinforcement, making your carefully programmed success mindset vanish surprisingly rapidly without ongoing maintenance. This isn't personal failure or character weakness, but simple neuroscience where neural connections strengthen with repeated use and weaken with disuse. Meaning stopping practice guarantees losing the capacity you built regardless of how strong your winner thinking became at its peak. Temporary practice creates temporary winner thinking. Permanent practice creates unstoppable success mindset. Practice daily or revert to loser. Daily non-negotiables maintain winner thinking permanently through specific practices that must continue indefinitely. Morning expectation setting establishes success mindset each day before challenges begin. Thought monitoring catches limiting beliefs before they control behavior. Failure reframing maintains growth perspective despite setbacks. Responsibility affirmation reinforces ownership rather than blame, and evening visualization programs success expectations before sleep. After months of consistent daily practice without skipping or making excuses, profound transformation occurs as you shift from consciously choosing winner thoughts through effort to thinking like winner automatically without deliberation. From forcing positive expectations through willpower to naturally expecting success as default, from deliberately reframing obstacles to automatically seeing opportunities, and from effortful responsibility taking to naturally owning everything without considering blame. Integration progresses through entirely predictable stages that everyone experiences. Conscious incompetence means you're painfully aware of loser thinking, but cannot yet change it consistently. Conscious competence means you can think like winner, but only through deliberate effort and conscious management. Unconscious competence means winner thinking operates automatically without conscious management because neural pathways are so well established. This complete transformation requires months of consistent daily practice without exceptions, genuine patience with gradual belief changes that don't match desire for instant results, persistent effort through doubt and setback that test commitment, absolute commitment to permanent reprogramming, not temporary improvement, and understanding that stopping practice means reverting to loser mindset because maintenance is required permanently. Winner thinking becomes fundamental identity through permanent daily practice that transforms you completely from loser mentality, expecting failure, to winner mindset, expecting success, from seeing obstacles everywhere to seeing opportunities constantly, from victim-blaming circumstances to owner-controlling responses, from problem-focused paralysis to solution-focused action, through refusing to accept loser thoughts and maintaining the specific daily practices that make winner thinking inevitable, automatic, and permanent. Temporary practice creates temporary winner thinking. Permanent practice creates unstoppable success mindset. Practice daily or revert to loser. You understand now that winner thinking requires permanent daily practice to maintain the reprogrammed beliefs, success expectations, and automatic thought patterns you've worked so hard to develop over months of consistent effort. Stop thinking you can reprogram temporarily, then stop practicing while expecting changes to remain, and start committing absolutely to daily practice as permanent lifestyle, understanding that unstoppable success mindset requires ongoing maintenance through consistent daily attention to the practices that build and preserve your transformation from loser thinking to winner thinking permanently. You have learned 10 principles for winner thinking. Stop expecting failure and start expecting success. Stop blaming circumstances and start taking responsibility. Winner mindset expects success automatically. Champion thinking creates inevitable achievement. Success beliefs produce compound results, and programmed excellence guarantees the victories that loser thinking makes impossible through permanent daily practice starting now. You have learned 10 principles for winner thinking. You think like a loser. Recognize defeating mental patterns. Understand winner psychology, the neuroscience of success mindset. Reframe failure as feedback. Winners learn, losers quit. Expect success always. Program your mind for victory. Take absolute responsibility. Winners own everything. Focus on solutions, not problems. Winners find ways. Visualize victory repeatedly. Mental rehearsal creates reality. Surround yourself with winners. Environment programs thinking. Practice winner thinking daily. Reprogram your mind systematically. Winner thinking is permanent practice. Success mindset requires daily maintenance. What matters now is action today. Identify one loser thought pattern you repeat constantly. Challenge that thought and replace it with winner alternative. 5 daily practices starting tomorrow. Morning expectation setting, thought monitoring and replacement, failure reframing practice, responsibility affirmation, evening victory visualization. Every single day, without exception. This reprograms your mind. This creates winner thinking. Stop expecting failure and start expecting success. Stop blaming circumstances and start taking responsibility. Winner mindset expects success automatically. Champion thinking creates inevitable achievement. Success beliefs produce compound results, and programmed excellence guarantees the victories that loser thinking makes impossible through permanent daily practice starting now.